Dear Diary.
Dear Diary.
Dear Diary, wow, today was a really hard day.
Dear Diary, I find sometimes my life can be hard.
Dear Diary, it will pass and it will be okay.
Dear Diary, I feel like today is going to be...
Shh, the Indigo Diaries.
Dear Diary, welcome world to the Indigo Diaries. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Natasha Hickling and I'm the host of this brand new podcast. Well, it's not really brand new anymore, the Indigo Diaries. Thank you to everyone for coming in and joining and listening. If this is your first time, then welcome. And if you're returning, then welcome back. I welcome all you Indigos to the first series, The World Through Our Eyes, and another episode, and this time around, an actual live guest, not like last time. Today's episode is from a lady who I've just got to know quite recently through our group Indigo. She speaks with so much passion when it comes to ADHD and has such a drive to help others in the community. So welcome.
Hello. Hi. My name is Meenakshi.
Oh, welcome. So let me tell you a bit about her. Meenakshi from India, a 32-year-old girl full of dreams and wants to help people of ADHD globally. She has been diagnosed since 16 years of age, and she's gone through many ups and downs since then. So, welcome. It's nice to see you or hear you.
Thank you, Tasha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's begin by asking you a question. I'm going to ask you, when were you first diagnosed?
Formally, when I was 16 years of age, after class 10th.
Okay. So how were you diagnosed? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, my maternal grandfather, my Nanaji, I went to his house during my summer vacations after class 10th, and he somehow found that there's something wrong in me. He took me a psychologist called Rita Agarwal in India. We did some tests there, but psychosomatic tests, but there she told that I was schizophrenic child. We went to another psychiatrist. There I was diagnosed as ADHD at the last form.
Okay. So how did you feel about your diagnosis?
That time, 16 years ago, the awareness was not so much as it is today. I didn't know anything and couldn't relate much because there was no internet. There was no nothing that time, 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you feel like today it has changed since you were 16. The way you feel about ADHD has changed. So how's that changed for you?
The feel of ADHD has changed because I came to know and understand myself better. I read many books, joined Indigo book, joined an India book called Added Focus Group of Ratan Shetty, and it really helped me and motivated me a lot. But yes, people's perception to you change much after they know about your illness.
Okay. So you said that you're from India. So how is the awareness for ADHD in India?
The awareness has increased since the movie Tare Zameen Par of Amir Khan that was released back in 2008. And awareness has improved a lot, but there are still many areas in India which are not aware of the problem. But somehow the awareness have increased a lot, and the schools have special areas for such children, special centers or areas for such children. They teach the children differently. Awareness, of course, have increased a lot, but there are some places where it has not yet increased.
So in India, is there many things like specialized members of like psychiatrists or psychologists?
Yeah, there are many psychiatrists, psychologists, special learning teachers, shadow teachers, and occupational therapists, that is OT.
Okay. So have you, since being diagnosed, have you used any of these specialized members of staff?
I have been to psychiatrists that time, but that time when I was diagnosed, there were not many. Now it has come up a lot more. That time there were not many special remedial teachers also.
Okay. So you feel like in the last kind of 16 years since you were diagnosed, it has improved a lot?
Yes, it has improved tremendously in India.
Okay. So what was so let's go back to kind of where this kind of story began. What was your childhood like?
My childhood challenges were uh, poor attention, like I couldn't concentrate much on a task, and I had a complaint of being late to the school always. My laces were always open, and academically it went poorer and poorer day by day after being diagnosed with ADHD. And my childhood was during I started actually my ADHD started right from class 7 8, but I was diagnosed at the age of 16, but actually it's began at the age of 12 13. So from the 12 13, the teachers could make out the differences between me and other children. Actions were different.
So you just said that you, with when it comes to teachers, that they started to see that you were different at the age of 12. Did any of them ever bring it up with your parents?
They brought once or twice over, but my parents couldn't believe it because they also didn't have the awareness of ADHD. They couldn't relate or believe it.
Okay. So you said that you had quite a lot of difficulties at school. Did you have, how was it with other children?
Well, actually, from class 6, I was in a different school, and 7th, my parents changed my school because because they thought that I would be with my sibling, where there were many boys, and they used to tease me like anything, and I had difficulties in learning, writing, and also listening to instructions, following directions, tying the shoelace, being on time. Very much difficulties arose then.
Okay. So how did that affect your relationships with kind of other children?
It affected my relationship very much because they found that I was different from them. My habits were different, my actions were different. I was very much different from them.
Okay. So how did that impact you?
It made me feel isolated and lonely.
And did that carry on throughout the whole of childhood and throughout the whole of school?
Till 10th, it was that much. 11th, 12th, I shifted to our opening school in Nagpur, and college was very good, extremely good in college in Nagpur. That is a part of Maharashtra in Calcutta. In India, the college days were extremely good, and many friends over there.
Okay. So I remember you mentioning about your principal wouldn't allow you to take exams. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, in class 10th, when I was there, the principal of our school, that is Lakshmi Singh Academy in Calcutta, she called my parents and and told me that she told me that Meenakshi is very slow and she should not give the exam, as I was extremely going worse by first day by day, and she thought that I won't pass in class 10th, so the school record would be going down day by day.
Wow. I think that is absolutely horrific. How did you kind of deal with that?
I don't know how I did, but it was a miracle that I passed class 10 with 42%. Absolute miracle.
I agree. I think you did really well there to even after.
Because I used to sleep or lie, and my mother used to study.
Oh,
I did commerce. I did BCom and commerce after that. BCom Bachelor in Computer Application. BCom with Computer Application after that. That is, I did it very well. Very well. No, I did okay, but I did after that.
why do you think you after that did really well in computering? Do you think it's because you were interested? What do you think of that?
Well, to be frank, I was not. I started the work very enthusiastically, but towards the end, I started getting bored by it. That is my major outlook in the aim, and my major aim now, after the lockdown, is to help people of ADHD, not only in India but globally in some form or other. I also tried therapical yoga from S. Vyasa University in India. It worked a lot for me.
Okay. So how did you, so from this, from being at school, how did you actually get diagnosed? I remember you said that your grandfather took you. So how did he notice?
He noticed, I don't know how he noticed, but he had read somewhere about mental illness. That time it was not so much prominent, and he has a touchwood good circle with doctors. So he thought that there is something wrong with the child. She's just not playing the prank. My actions were different, my behavior were different, my attitude was different, everything was different. and he was the first person who took me to a psychiatrist. I'm very, very grateful to my grandfather.
Yeah. Do you still have a good relationship with your grandfather now?
Yes, I have a good relationship with my grandfather, and I'm very grateful for him, to him.
I think that's really special that your grandfather, they say that ADHD is only really becoming aware now. The fact that he saw that in you and actually went and got you help is incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible on his part.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, does your, like, all of your family, did they all kind of accept it after you were diagnosed?
They actually, my parents couldn't believe it first, but yes, they had accepted it later on that I was diagnosed with ADHD and I have to take medicines. They had to accept the fact.
Do you think that's because of the awareness in back then was so little?
Yes, the awareness was very little. There were not much Google or YouTube that days. Back in the year of 2004 that I was talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So, how did it kind of, the people that the fact that they wouldn't believe you and they kind of didn't accept it at first, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel very bad because I thought that I'm an isolated or I am not, I'm a black sheep of the family. I thought like that. If people are not accepting me, I don't feel nice about it. But later on, I thought that the right ones stay in whatever position you are. So I don't chase people anymore. If people want to stay with me, they can. And I've joined a lot of ADHD groups. So I have like minded people around with me.
I'm smiling, and no one will be able to see this right now, but I'm smiling because that's such a big thing for people to say that you just kind of, if people don't want to be around you, then that's okay. Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, so you mentioned that you went on to medication. Was that by choice at 16? Did you go on that starting at 16?
Yeah, I started in the age of 16. The doctor gave me some medicines prescribed by the psychiatrist gave me some medicines, so I had to go for medications.
Okay. So are you still on them today?
Yeah, I'm still on them today, but it reduced a lot since the last 16 years have reduced a lot, but I'm still taking little medicines today.
Do you feel that helps, or can you tell us about that?
Well, if I don't take medicines for long, the behavior changes. I become more aggressive by nature. So I have to take medicines. Lately I'm taking, but it's a part of my life. I think if I'm okay by taking medicine, then it's okay.
I agree. I think you've got to give yourself the best chance that you can.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, what happened after you were diagnosed? So you said you left school. So what happened after you were diagnosed, and then obviously your family started to accept it a bit more? What happened after this?
I went to Nagpur to stay with my maternal grandparents. They really worked hard on me, and they really took good care of me. And they didn't feel, I couldn't feel that if my mom was not there. They were younger that time, 16 years ago, and they really took the pains of taking me to a psychiatrist, getting the right medicines for me, taking me to a good school, making me study. But that time I couldn't study well. They had really, really, really worked hard on me.
Okay. Do you think that's helped you today because they spent
It,
that time with you?
yeah, it helped me in becoming what I am today. I am just because of them.
Oh, wow. That's really amazing to say that. And that's your grandparents and your parents.
Yeah, grandparents and my parents. My mom especially, she really took pains for me and helped me to get to a proper doctor and everything. Did whatever was necessary.
That's amazing how at first they, because the awareness wasn't there, but then because they noticed that you had it, and then they kind of took that on and took you on, and they just helped you in every possible way. That's really, really rare and very special.
Yes.
So do you still live with your family now?
Yeah, I still live with my family, but yes, I live with my parents right now, and my grandparents also have shifted to Calcutta because they are not young anymore. And they are that time they were younger, so my grandfather is a little sick, so they've shifted to Calcutta, and I'm very grateful for them all.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened when you went into like jobs and careers? Did your ADHD impact you in the same way to school?
It has impacted me a lot during the careers and job because of concentration lapses. I can't sit and do a sustained job for a sustained period of time. There are concentration lapses. People know that I'm different from them. Of course, by my actions, by my behavior, by my attitudes, I need a lot of instructions to work with. There are behavior factors also in job.
What sort of jobs have you had in the past?
I had worked in my father's office once, then worked in a school in Nagpur, and then in Calcutta also. I'm teaching an NGO. It has impacted a lot in my work also.
Okay, so do you think any of your ADHD, so if I said to you, turned it around now and said ADHD strengths, what would you say that how ADHD impacts you with strengths?
Yeah, I have a high energy level, and I'm creative, I'm passionate, I'm funny, I'm fun loving, and all.
Do you think that that's helped you in your jobs with careers?
It has helped me in my jobs and careers a little, but more or less people in India, they see the mental illness as a taboo in India. I mean, people see the children or adults differently from a different eye. It's very sad, but they see adults in a different eye here.
Okay, so what do you mean by taboo? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Taboo means like I'm 32, and to be frank, that I'm not getting good marriage alliances because of my problem or behavior pattern. Like people don't accept me as a part of the family anyway, and they I'm not. Nobody is insisting on getting me married or getting married to me. Whatever you say.
And how does that kind of impact you, not only emotionally but kind of with your own family?
Yes, my family is of course worried for me because I'm 32 lately and I'll be 33 in a couple of months. So they are worried about me lately, but they have left it on God. I mean, my mom is my biggest strength. I got divorced a few years ago, and they had played whatever, like we told them that I have this illness and I have the symptoms. Don't do it, and they did reverse of it. They had told them about the mental illness also, that I'm taking medicines. You should do this and not don't do this. That did the reverse. It has really impacted me a lot, and but my parents are my biggest strengths because in India, keeping a married girl is not so easy as is in the Western countries, and they had kept me so well. And my grandparents also, that especially my grandfather, he also said that it can happen to anyone. It's just not you, it can happen to anyone. He's my biggest strength in life.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really, really, really special because even though you have the pressures of the social outside, kind of external from your family, the fact that you've got that family support obviously makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Do you feel that any other kind of there's any other cultural impacts of having ADHD in like your society about how people do you still have that stigma when meeting new people?
Yeah, I have a stigma. Everybody knows about the illness, and people know I have the stigma with me also. But instead of crying over it, I'm trying to use it in a positive way. Like recently, I did a workshop on yoga, impact on yoga and ADHD, and I put pictures of it in social media that really motivated some people also.
Wow. Okay. So we'll start to talk about that now. So as we go on about jobs, so kind of what do you do currently, like during COVID? Like are you still working with your dad or have you started doing something else?
No, recently in COVID, I attended a lot of webinars and all, did some video editing also, and I just did Zoom webinar, and I joined several. In the COVID, only I came to know about the ADHD support group. I
Mm.
somehow that clicked accidentally on the Indigo group, and I came to know about Tasha and the family, and then I came to know about Ratan sir also and the family. So came to know a lot during the COVID times
That's
globally.
so because obviously in India you don't have that support and the awareness. Is that what you do? Is that what you do? You reach out online to kind of get that help?
Yeah, I reach on online, I question people, I get the answers, and also I'm connected with this S Vyasa University in Bangalore that have impacts yoga, that have provide. They are doing a lot of work for the mental health of people, and they are providing yoga for mental health people. It's very good. I mean, I found a lot of improvement in me after
Wow.
doing it.
So do you feel so as an adult now, how do you what do you use to help? Obviously, we've talked a bit about medication. What do you use that helps you with your ADHD challenges?
It helps me my ADHD advantages. It increases my concentration level, working memories increase because of that. It makes me relax also. The yoga techniques help me to relax also, and also
Do you,
increase the dopamine level in the brain.
yeah, of course, that's what we need. Do you do it every day or?
I try to do every day, 1 or 2 days I miss, but mostly I do every day yoga.
Wow. Do you do anything else? Is there any other like strategies or techniques that you use to kind of help you manage?
Yeah, I do Art of Living Sudarshan Kriya also by Shishi Ravi Shankar ji. But yo, but I feel that S Vyasa yoga is much more powerful as it is customized yoga from especially for the mental disorder thing. So they have customized the yoga pattern into mental disorder thing.
Wow. Okay, great. So we're going to have a break now because I'm very, very hot in my unair conditioned room. So we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what's next for Meenakshi and we're going to talk about what's her mission for now. Okay, and we're out. If you would like any information on Indigo's support group, check out the website below for our link to our Facebook page or email at indigo.adhd2020@gmail.com. If you would like to offer any comments or feedback, or if you are interested in the world hearing your story, then please reach out either through the group or through our email. As said before, have a good week. Check in again later, Indigos. Shh, the Indigo Diaries. So, welcome back. Before the break, we've cooled down a bit. And before the break, we were talking to Meenakshi, and she is from India. And she was diagnosed at the age of 16. But you should all know this because you should have listened from the beginning. If not, then please rewind now. So, we got to the point where we were talking about that you were using yoga to help you with your ADHD. So I remember you mentioned earlier in the podcast that you were thinking about starting a new mission with helping people around ADHD and globally. Would you like to tell us about this?
Yes, I would like to help them globally, not only in India, because people all over the world need help, need to voice out their problem, listen to them. Because when you go through a particular thing, then you know the pros and cons of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go through the poverty, you know what poverty is. So
Yeah.
I mean, ADHD. So I'm using since everybody came to know about has come to know about my problem. So I'm using it for helping people globally.
Okay. So so you mentioned that you did a yoga webinar, and if anyone wants to see it, I will put the link below. It's very, very good. How else are you gonna achieve this goal?
I would like to create awareness in people in India. They know now a lot, but yet create awareness on yoga impact of ADHD. How is yoga used for ADHD? That is my goal to help people.
Okay.
I individually as well as in groups.
Okay, that sounds absolutely amazing. I think that you don't really see that much of yoga and ADHD, so that's a really kind of unique avenue to go through. And because that's kind of impacted your life, I think that's a real beneficial thing. So you said that you feel the pain of ADHDers, so you would like to educate them. What do you mean by that?
Pain is that people isolate us in India. It's a taboo in India. We are considered different, and so people don't like to associate us with ourselves much. Like whenever there's a talk of my marriage going on, there are not much good marriage alliances received in India because people don't accept you with ADHD. That is the saddest part in India.
So how's that kind of impacted your life? How does that make you kind of...
It has impacted my life lately
How does that kind of resonate with
because
you?
it resonates with me because I feel isolated, outcast by people also, and people usually have the habit of gossiping and making fun instead of helping the other one out. So over here, people gossip on your back and they don't help you in any manner they can.
That's so sad that people just gossip and just because you're a little bit different and your brain works in a different way, that it's just because they don't understand and they just laugh. And I think that's really, really sad.
It is.
So you want to create the awareness so these things don't happen for other individuals like yourself.
Yeah, I don't want people to suffer like I was suffering. Awareness is quite much higher now in India, but still, more and more awareness makes better choices.
Yeah, I agree. I think that awareness with ADHD across the world, but especially in Asia, is very low and very limited. So the more the
Yes,
awareness, the better.
yes.
So you said that you're part of a ADHD India group. How do you feel that does that help you in any way?
It has helped me a lot because the India foreign lifestyle and Indian lifestyle are quite different. Like over there, so Indian India group AD focus group also helped me a lot. I got connected to a lot of people, and they really helped me a lot also. That accepted me as a part of the group.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good and special, and make me feel that I'm not alone, and there are much more like me around.
Yeah, it gives you that validation, doesn't it? And it just makes you feel so like, I don't know, it makes up for kind of in a way for every person that's not accepted you.
Yes.
So do you ever think you'd be interested in starting your own group like that, or you feel that you want to just create the awareness with the webinars?
With webinars, it's much easier because you don't have to go anywhere. You have virtually, and social media, of course, plays a very important role in India, and especially in India because people all the time they're on Facebook, Instagram, and other social sites. Like if you post pictures and all, people obviously will see it. They connect to you better, not only in India but also outside India. Like I had posted some pictures lately in social media, so one or two friends got connected to me. They called me up and saying that what you guys doing. Like I also had depression and all that stuff. Yes, social media is much easier way to connect with people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, how it kind of like now you've kind of got this awareness and you've been going online with the podcast, you've been doing your yoga, you've been reaching out to people. How do you feel that has improved? Do you feel like it's improved your ADHD challenges and your well-being of your life?
Yeah, it has improved lately my ADHD challenges, and I got connected to so many people, so many psychologists, sufferers also. It has improved a lot. Yeah, challenges are that I can't sit still in one place. It has also improved me to sit still in one place. I came to know about more about myself and my problem lately also.
Okay, so how do you knowing about it, you think that's really beneficial?
Yeah, it's really beneficial. Once if you don't know about the problem, how can you solve it? You have to know about
Exactly.
the problem.
Exactly. So, how do you? So, obviously, not about marriage, but what about friends and relationships? We've talked a lot about family. What about friendships and things like that? How do you how have you found that kind of throughout your life?
Friends are not very stable. I lose friends very easily. People don't want to be connected to me. It is but few friends, they stick on me. That's very good on them.
So you have like a nice group, like a small circle now?
I already had a big group, but now they're all married away and they're different streams. Now I've got a smaller group, but a real friends.
Yeah. I think it's not about quantity, it's about quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of what's next for you? If I ask you that question, what's next for you, Meenakshi? What do you want to do next?
I want to do post-graduation yoga therapy from West Vyasa, and I would really like to help people by teaching through yoga globally, not only in India but globally. Yes, I would like to help people by yoga because it helped me a lot and it will help others a lot also. But it's quite beneficial. So I would like to do post-graduation yoga.
Okay. I think that's really amazing. I think that's not well, what I've seen, it's not really done enough. So I think that's really special.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So is there anything else that any regrets? So if I say to you any regrets from being diagnosed or having ADHD? Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, I have a regret that why it has happened to me. Why didn't it happen to others? I have the regret of why did it happen to me, but it's like filling in the jots. Like I thought that God has had wanted me to be in this line and help people, so He had diagnosed me with it, so I could help people not only in India, globally, or connect people. So maybe it is a blessing for me. What is a curse for you? Maybe a blessing for you at the end.
Wow, that's really nice. So like it was a curse, but now you kind of feel like it's more like a blessing.
Blessing, yes. I feel
Wow.
it's more of like blessing. Yes.
Okay, so any last thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I would like to say that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be not like others. It's okay, just be what you are. People come and go, but the right ones stay. Just stay who and what you are and be proud of yourself no matter what.
Thank you. I'm smiling, grinning from side to side because that is so true. It is absolutely like pot of gold there. That is exactly true, and a lot of us don't believe it, but it's really is true. So I just want to say a big thank you to you. So as we come to the end, I'd just like to say really huge thank you and appreciation for being a part of this diary. I think it's quite extremely exhilarating.
Thank you, Tasha, for making me a part of the podcast.
It's okay. And it's really exhilarating to hear such passion and encouragement from yourself that even after everything, you want to pursue a mission in helping others like yourself to not feel like they're alone and to be who they are. And we definitely, especially in this part of the world, we definitely need more people like you. So before we end this diary, is there an encouragement that you would like to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, I would like to say big thank you to the Indigo team. Tasha especially, big thank you to the Indigo team and Ratan sir of the India team also. And my family, my friends for being a big support to my life. Thank you
Okay.
all.
Thank you so much. And so yet again, we leave diaries with from another individual who's battling everyday life with this real condition in a culture that may not be accepting, but she still has the passion to inspire others. With this thought, I would like to say that wherever you are in this world, that there is help available, and that's what's so extraordinary about the World Wide Web. So please reach out if you need anything or want to share your story. So, as we say every week, signing out, Indigos. See you soon. Have a great week. And please never be afraid to go after what you believe in. And we're out.
Dear diary,
Dear diary,
Dear diary,
today is ending. I'll check in again tomorrow.
Tomorrow is a brand new beginning.
Good night, sweet dreams.
I think tomorrow will be
Shh.